Hi everyone, and welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about supplies and the radio tower component. So before we begin, we're going to start creating some more layers. Remember, you can always click on your project with left, right click layer. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a supply, and that's going to be my supply hubs. I'm also going to make another layer. I'm going to call it cache. And then finally, we're going to have radio. So this is going to help me organize my stuff a little bit easier. So we're going to double click on supply, and we're going to put a supply icon down on the map so people can open up their map. They'll see their supply hub, which means there's going to be a lot of supplies for them to grab and keep the war effort moving forward. Going over to the search bar, we're going to type in supply depot. You're going to click on campaign remnant supply depot or depot. So this is going to create an icon on the map. It is always going to be set to FIA. You can definitely change the icon. So don't worry if you want it to be like op4 looking or you want to change it to something else, you definitely can. And I highly recommend experimenting with it, understand what each one does. If I sat here and kind of went through it, we'll be here for an extra 30 minutes. And that's not the course of these videos. We're trying to do things pretty quickly. Anyway, so we got our little supply hub. Now let's go ahead and put down some caches. So I'm going to double click on cache and I'm going to type in the search bar cache. If we go into prefabs here, we're going to be looking for supply depots under MP, campaign, supply depots. And we have several we can choose from. If we had something more foresty, we can put down these FIA camp ones. They kind of look pretty nice, as you can see. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I don't know why I placed down two of the same, but we're just going to make sure. There we go. So those are what those look like. And then, of course, we got Connex containers. Anyways, I'm going to grab all these here real fast. I'm just going to get rid of them because we want to put this inside. You know, we got a nice wall going on. And let's go and put some right over here. So let's put this one down as such. And generally, I like to have it so kind of more in the more traffic area, you can have this sign facing out. Basically, that's just going to tell people are able to kind of go up to it and see how much supplies is left in there. And I think by default, if you click on this sign, I think we can change the resource component and actually put more supplies in. I can't remember which one is in it by default. It could be these containers themselves. Ah, yes, here it is. So if you do want to put like more supplies in a container, just click on these little container things, these connexes. That's what I'm looking for. And from here, you can go ahead and change the buy multiplier and really pump those numbers up. I don't really recommend it, though. There is a threshold, and if you put too much, there could be problems. I did set one to 1 million one time, and it did not like it at all. So just be careful with that. Anyways, as you can see, we can kind of make this place a little bit more lively. Place these things down. Where is the sign? There it is. And you always want to think about how people are able to get it. Obviously, with the rurals or the transport trucks, they're able to load up supplies. Also, helicopters. But keep that in mind as you're placing things down. You want vehicles to be able to get into them. Now, let's say we were in a tight area. Let's say we're on a modded map. Let's say Kunar Province, for example. Obviously, that map is very, very tight. There's not a whole lot of room. And you wanted to change how far people can grab it. Well, if we go back to the supply depot, we can actually change the radius in which people can start grabbing stuff. Obviously, we have operational radius is set to 20, which I believe that in a certain radius, it will actually override all these supply caches to allow people to grab them at a further radius. So for example, let's say if we set it to 35, what should happen is that people are able to get like about right here and still able to load supplies. So if you're ever in a weird situation or you like see a nice little area, but it's gonna be harder for vehicles, you can always pump those numbers up and allow people to grab them at a further distance. Okay, so that's basically how we do supply depots. Now let's go ahead and talk about radios. So if we go over here and type in radio in the search bar, don't forget to double click. We're gonna go in Arma Reforger, prefabs, and we're looking for MP, campaign, and we're gonna go ahead and find, let me see if it's this one. Give me a second here. Nope. Just gotta find it real fast. Ah, here it is. Okay, So what we're looking for is conflict relay radio. I'm going to look around on the map here and try to find something. Okay, this will work. Okay, so we got a nice little radio antenna here just for immersion sakes, but it really doesn't matter. You can place these anywhere. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and put this down, and we're not going to leave it on the ground. Let's say I want on the side of that building here. So remember from the other video, hit E for rotation. We're going to hit that green arrow to bring it up on the Y, and we're going to make this look all nice and pretty. We're just going to embed that right in there. There we go. So we got our nice little radio here. Now, there's a lot we can do with this. I believe by default, it's not set to any faction. So we're going to actually work backwards here. In this case, we're doing PvE. Let's say we're invading. So this is going to be under control of the USSR. So opt for USSR. Remember that faction affiliation. And you can go and change the coverage of it. You can go ahead and do a lot. Obviously, as we can see here, the transmission range is 3 clicks. You can always change that number to really expand it. But basically what's going to happen here, the reason why it's set to USSR is to kind of give the player base a reason to hit it. You can set this to US, and thus what's going to happen is the player base is able to capture any objective 3 clicks at a radius from this position. So, for example, let's say you were, again, let's do that beach landing situation. Let's say for some reason expanding the base out to 5 clicks didn't work. Well, we can simply put down relay towers in the water or the ocean, send them up to 3 or 5 clicks, and then eventually we should be able to reach our target. So using some like outside thinking is definitely a really big help. There's a lot of things you can do to help you out and kind of achieve your goals. Again, I love Reforger tools. It makes it a lot easier to kind of mess with things and be more little smart in doing stuff. But anyways, it's just that simple. If we want to put units down, we definitely can. We can definitely do the ambient stuff again if we want this defended. We'll just put down a couple of guys here. As such. And these guys are not going to capture anything because they can't interact with the radio. So we're just going to go ahead and put them on the defend. And so now we have a nice little radio that's being defended. And we can do the same thing for the supply depot. Obviously, we're not going to go through and make this all nice and pretty. Just kind of showing you guys how to do that. But anyways, thank you guys so much. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you learned something today, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And if there's something that you'd like to see as a tutorial, please let me know. Also, be sure to check out my Twitch. I sometimes do dev streams from time to time, so you might be able to learn something from there. Anyways, take it easy. Bye-bye.